Okay, it's time to open the Slop shop. Welcome in. My name is Dan Frampton. This is the Art of Slop, and today's flavor of slop is Bowblax. We got an apology on deck today. You know, I love a good YouTuber apology, but unfortunately, this is a text-based apology, so we're not going to get the infamous sit-down somber sigh that we normally get from YouTubers when they apologize. There isn't going to be a, hey guys, I really messed up kind of moment. But we do have an apology for all of that erratic, crazy behavior that was displayed by Bowblax just a couple short months ago. Now we're going to be getting into all of that drama, but before we do, I'm going to need you to comment on this video, and if you do that within the first 3 hours, I guarantee I will reply to it. If you're not familiar with Bowblax, he is a commentary YouTuber that has kind of been ousted from the community that he was once very prevalent in. I covered the situation in depth a couple months ago, so I'm not going to go through it in gruesome detail, but if you want all of that juice, go back and watch that video. But the speed run, the brass tacks of it is, Bowblax has this show on the internet called Twitter Versus, where he basically just reads tweets to a relevant situation that's going on, in particular drama going on YouTube. Him and his community have been going pretty strong for the last couple of years, since about 2020 or whatever. If you were around for the Susie Lou drama, that's when they really started to kick off. His little posse was known as the Goon Squad, which is so cute considering how the word goon morphed over those 4 years that they were kicking around. Bowblax's channel and the show Twitter Versus really kicked into high gear when there was the Pokimane drama. Pokimane copyright striked Bowblax, basically just handing him an instant W and an online career. Fast forward 4 years, the guy is lying and manipulating, claiming that he has BPD in order to manipulate situations into his favor, was a snake to everybody in the community, secretly recorded a call of a fellow commentator named Larix, and had the intent to leak it with the intent to get an own on Larix, which was never going to be the case because Larix was such a nice guy in that call. Anyway, all of that mess is now history, and the dust is now settling a little bit. So if we just go over here to twitter.com, we have Bowblax's apology. It is a couple gigantic paragraphs that I guess I'm gonna have to read over here. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna accept Bowblax's apology. Even though what he did didn't really affect me, I don't really find it super egregious or whatever, and the value of his show definitely outweighs the crappy behavior that he displayed, in my opinion, if he could only get his act together and put out this show on a regular basis. But even if he does that, he really needs to put in a lot of work because his reputation has been so damaged. This guy was getting hundreds of thousands of views before the drama, and now after the drama, he's barely scratching 10,000, and he's only posted 2 videos in the last month and a half. Anyway, Bowblax, how sorry are you? Earlier this year, I had a mental health crisis that I let get out of control, hurting many of my friends in the process. I let my worst tendencies and paranoia bubble to the surface and was way too stubborn to accept advice of any kind despite asking for it anyway. I was really just wanting confirmation bias for my own feelings at the time. I did start seeking professional medical help in late July, but instead of letting myself recover after starting to get that help, I was again very stubborn and pushed ahead, ignoring all the warnings that I needed to chill out before continuing to make drama content. My psychotic rant to Nick from July was the catalyst to me realizing something was horribly wrong. I felt very guilty and felt it was my responsibility to update him and let him know how things are going in order to make things right or better somehow. Through my need to find an answer for this, I jumped to BPD and started telling Nick and others that BPD was the answer, even though I didn't have confirmation from medical professionals. I don't know how I thought that was how I was going to make up for that, because it makes no sense. But regardless, I fucked up. I'm sorry to him and others who were just trying to help me. Now, I think it's very cool that he's accepting accountability and that he's saying these kinds of things, but the main thing that he was accused of during that thing is not being able to accept the criticism and then to just like make up an excuse. And even in this apology, it kind of has that sort of thing. Because after it was all said and done, it was, you manipulated everybody through lying about a BPD diagnosis. So you gotta kind of own up for that part of it. And in this statement, his reason or his excuse was that he felt guilty and jumped to BPD. But benefit of the doubt, when you're going through a lot like that psychologically, it can manifest itself in a lot of ridiculous ways. The manipulation, the secretly recording of the call, and a whole myriad of other things were definitely scummy behaviors that he demonstrated that could have manifested through that cacophony, that stew of mental anguish that he was going through. On top of his channel dying, it really has to be a battle between Bowblax and his brain every single day. So my heart definitely goes out to him for that matter. I really like the show Twitter Versus because I don't like spending all day on Twitter, and a lot of the times I just need to be caught up on what's going on Twitter within a particular drama, and he was really good at doing that for a period of time. But right now, he's not really doing that well. Well, at least his channel comes up now when you search for it. That's a step in the right direction. A Twitter Versus format is something that you can pump out every single day. All you gotta do is gather a bunch of relevant tweets and read it. Cut them together, away you go. You can bang that out in 4 hours max. 4 months ago, before he left, he was still getting 132,000 views, 85,000 views. Then all the drama happened, then he disappeared. He came back about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, and he's been bleeding views ever since. 4 videos in 2 months. That's not cutting it. In 2 months, you should be nearing 60 uploads, especially for a format like this. The audience would eat it all up, especially because the guy that took this format got demonetized by YouTube. So now you would be the only one, Bowblax, that has control over this IP. Other people are doing it, but they wouldn't have the baked-in subscriber count if you were to just put in the work. Daily grind this out. And I know what it's like to work through mental anguish. I think you could do it. I believe in you, pal, but you gotta put in the work for me to really take all of this really that seriously. Show me that you mean it. Actions speak louder than words. You know that old adage? But anyway, I'm trying to grow my Blue Sky account. So, Dan Frampton, all one word, the O's a 0, over there on Blue Sky. Go follow me right away. What did you think of Bowblax's apology? Big fan? Anyway, that's where the situation is right now. See you later. Have a good one.